Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here, and this is a channel about cross stitch. And I'm back in my home environment, back home from my sister Naomi's house, and I'm happy to say that her kitchen is more or less finished. It still needs to be. They're going to do some painting and all that, and apparently there's a problem with the dishwasher. They had a new dishwasher installed because the old one was the one that was leaking and caused the problems that But the new cabinets are in. The new countertop was put in my last day that I was there on Tuesday. I guess they came and they were putting in the countertops. And then since then they've put in the backsplash and put the appliances back in place and all that stuff. So essentially the kitchen is finished, except the sink was installed and the faucets and all that. So it looks great. Like I said, the only problem is there's something wrong with the dishwasher. I don't know if it's the gasket or whatever. Something about it is leaking. So anyway, that's just a little glitch, but otherwise the kitchen is done. So so I'm back home, and so I am going to show some of the finishes. The little pillow finishes still haven't been done, but I'm since July's over, I'm not. When that happens, it'll happen. But so anyway, but I do have some other FFOs that I have talked about before to show you this time, and more stitching. Okay, so I talked about my cross stitch camp piece for August, which was by Michelle Garrett, Bendy, Stitchy, Christmas Moose. And last week I had done the snowflakes on this side and the outline of the body of the moose. And so now I'm going to put this behind here so it doesn't show it. So I'm finished. Yay! I finished it on Tuesday, I believe. Tuesday, maybe late Tuesday. I don't know, after I got back, maybe. I don't remember. But it was definitely on the 8th that I finished it. So, I did the other snowflakes. This inside of the moose's body here is Etoile. It's a DMC color. And the color for on this is just blanc, just white on there. And I used a B5200. I like that as a white for snowflakes. It's a very bright white. I like it a lot. But it's all DMC and 2/2 on this. It's like a coffee dyed linen. I think I dyed it myself some time ago. I don't even know where little bits and pieces that were left over. So yeah, but so it's all nice. I had kind of like carried from the legs over here, carried to do these little stumps on the trunks of the trees, and you could kind of see the thread, through there. Even like not with a light behind it, you could just kind of see it. So I snipped those and finished put those threads on the behind here on the legs, and I just redid these and just as individual trunks. I just anchored the thread, in the stitches of the trees there. But so it came out very nice. So that's all done. Yay. So yay, I'm finished. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to FFOing it. That's another story altogether. I'm going to talk about my FFOs now also. So I still haven't quite finished this one. I bought some ribbon to use on it. I think that will work pretty well. This is the Santa that I did before. I think I showed it before. Um, and I had stuck it to this little metal ornament thing that I got at Hobby Lobby. I think they come like in a pack of 6. So they come with a little jute hanger, and I had glued it on there. But I had, you can see the white gap here where I was going around this. It's foam core. This is stuck on a foam core, and I was going around it with this red trim, and right here at the end where it overlapped, I didn't take it quite as far as I should have, or I kind of pulled it or something in it, and so this little, you can just see the white Ada little gap there. So I got this little charm, and I'm gonna make a bow. I have this skinny, where is it? Not that one. This one. This skinny red ribbon that I got at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to make a little bow and put this little charm on the bow and glue it. Sorry. Can't hold it. Glue it to the, over that little white spot right there. So this charm, you can see it matches very nicely. It's going the opposite direction. I kind of like that. But it's just one of those little, half moon Santa things, and I think it matches the stitching very nicely. So like I said, the plan is to make a bow and stick the bow on there. So you haven't seen the last of this yet. I want to actually show it completely fixed and finished. So then the other thing so that's the little Santa kit finish thing that I had. And then I have this nativity. It's my first stitch thing. As I got this at Hobby Lobby, I'm pretty sure. A little Bucilla kit comes with the threads and all that. And if I think I talked about this before. I hadn't really, for some reason, I was having a glitch in my brain, and I should have done the gathering and pulled it tight because this is a round finish, and for some reason my brain wasn't working, and I just kind of glued it on there on a piece of on the little cardboard that it came with, but so you could see all these little corners. So I did use a yarn trim on there, and it kind of covers the corners, but you could still see them. It's still pretty obvious. But anyway, I glued it to another disc ornament thing, So if it's hanging on the tree, maybe you won't see it. Maybe it won't be so obvious. Maybe I don't know. But it's slightly imperfect, but it's still there. It works. And then another finish that I had was this little bunny. There's another one of these kits, and this one I did gather it properly, so it doesn't have little corners on it. But I used this orange, kind of a cord trim that I got. I think this is all from Hobby Lobby. This is an artiste little kit. It's another one of those little kits that comes with a little plastic frame, whatever. So, and the threads and the white Ada and all that stuff. And then this bunny is also actually from Hobby Lobby, and this ribbon might have been from Hobby Lobby, might have been from Target in their dollar spot. But so the bunny is just glued onto this bunny, and this thing it's not an actual tied bow. I just put 2 loops on top of each other, and I did trim the ends of the ribbon this way, but then I used a narrow orange ribbon, just wrapped it around there tightly, and I tied it in the back. You can't, in the back of the bow here, you can't see it, but then I glued it onto the bunny's neck like he's wearing a little ribbon around his neck. I wanted actually to like, you know, to tie it around his neck, but you couldn't because you can't because it's glued down on this metal part right here. But yeah, so I think it looks cute, and I keep wanting to put these little bunnies. I was gonna use them on something, and I decided not to do them on the rabbit disc. It didn't fit. And again, my plan was before I thought about that kit ribbon to use, you know, one of use these bunnies or whatever. But I thought it looks fine without them. And I've got like a bazillion bunny patterns to use these on at some point. So if I decide to use them, you know, they're there. I can use them. And the other thing I had that I finished that I came out pretty well is the one of my WIPGO square was elephant and pug, and I had finished this one at some point, dragonfly and ant, and I thought they'd be nice to do together. These are Owl Forest embroidery patterns. They're from their Fables series. Galina Gorenkova is, I think, the name of the designer for Owl Forest embroidery. But so two very nice patterns. They're really cute. But they didn't have a lot of colors in common. They had, I think, this goldish color in the trim is in here somewhere, and the black and white, of course, black and white of the, you know, here and here are in common, but they're not very obvious. But stylistically or whatever, series wise, they have something in common. And again, these are I just trimmed with yarn that I had. And this is like an olive green, but it's almost yellow, you know, so I think it fit perfectly. And this is blue that brings out the blue in the pattern very nicely. And they're just stuck to, I put them on foam core and then just stuck them to this whitewashed plank thing that it has a little hanger on it. That I think I got this I took the label off or whatever, but I think I did. I don't think it said anything, but I got it at Walmart, I think. They have a bunch of, like, in their kind of craft area, they had a bunch of, like, they have planks and various things. So I think that's where I got this. So that one actually came out pretty good. The one I'm not happy with is, if I have this Lindsey Stitches little thing that she was sending out with, you know, anytime you placed an order with her, at some point she was sending out this little turtley lovable guy, and she has it finished here as a scissor fob, and I kind of really don't use that you know, as much as I love scissors, I usually don't use scissor fobs for some reason. But anyway, so I was gonna make a needle minder out of it, but I like I said, I didn't think it through as well as I could have, and I used 2 pieces of foam core to mount them, and I don't like the thickness of this, and I kind of don't like the, you know, I didn't finish it well, and I have some ribbon, but I think what I'm going to do is take it apart and take this part off and do it like with a thinner piece of poster board or something like that, so that it's not so thick, and maybe redo this thing so it's not as part of it is I think that I trimmed it a little on the small side, and I think if it was a little bit bigger I could have gotten it glued down better or something, because I'm not real happy with the lumpiness of the corners here. I did buy some ribbon to try to cover it up, because before I decided to take it apart, I bought some wider purple ribbon. But so I don't know if I'll use that. I also saw this purple rickrack, so I might use that in some way. It just depends on what it looks like when I finish it. So yeah, so I did finish. Oops, sorry, I have this. Yeah, I did finish this, but I think I'm gonna redo it. And the original has pink on this little heart thing, but I use that. The reason that I had the purple in the back is because I use purple instead. I just yeah, but it's really cute. I just like I said, I'm not happy with the half finished result of it. And I have, I still have the other ones. I decided to do pillow finishes, and they're still waiting to be fully finished. So then, I had a new start that I did partly because I have new starts on my WIPGO squares, but also because yesterday, Friday, was World Cross Stitch Day. And a lot of people were doing new starts for World Cross Stitch Day or whatever. So I thought, well, that's a perfect excuse to do a new start. And so I started the Ferret, barely. As you recall, last month in July, one of my, I had 3 new starts for the month for WIPGO. So one of them was my cross stitch camp piece, the whale. I showed that on camera my video last week. The Plum Street Samplers whales, and so that was one of my new starts, and the other one, was Starry Night, the Prairie Schooler thing. I showed that last week or 2 weeks ago maybe, and so my third one. No. Yeah, the third one I did was the raccoon. This is the Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods, number 4. Well, yeah, 4 was the raccoon, and all I did was a tiny, because I was so didn't do work on it very long, but was this little it's just a flower, and the raccoon is down here somewhere. Well, so then I thought, well, I want to do. I had the Ferret is the one I was gonna do for a new start for the month of August anyway, but since it was World Cross Stitch Day, I thought, well, that's a good excuse to work on a new start. So this is the new start I have for the Ferret. You can't tell. It could be anything randomly, right? The raccoon and the Ferret. Neither one looks like what you can't tell that that's what they're supposed to be. But the issue with this one is that when I did the raccoon, the start for the raccoon, this border I made it myself so that I could do doing 3 together on one piece of fabric. This big pieces of fabric. So I had designed this border thing to do that I used on the first 3 that I put on one piece of fabric. So I had done this border around it, and so I wanted to do this border also, and I knew so that I could tell exactly how far down and how far in to go, so that they're one square off of the border, because these designs are all 100 by 103, and or 130. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, 100 wide by 130 high. So I decided that I would do a border and start them, like 1 stitch down from the top of the border and 1 stitch in from the side border. So in order to do these, I think I did for the raccoon. I just did a little bit of the border. I did this is going to be the vertical outside, and then I did a few of these little squares like this, I think, for the top, so that I could place the edge of this in the right place. So then I thought, well, okay, then I need to go all the way across, and this is the other vertical that separates them. So the raccoon will go in this one, and the ferret will go in this one. So like I said, I had just done enough of the border on the top to place this little tiny start of the raccoon in the right place. So I was looking at my other thing with the beginning. The first one is the fox and the swans and the jackrabbit. So I had done the border on that one all the way across, and so I had just glanced at it to make sure I was, had it right and blah blah blah, and how many of these little up and down things there were across there. And so I had looked at it and I thought, okay, there's 26. So I did the 26 little things, and I came to do this, and I wanted to look at it and see, how I had placed it, because I had devised it basically on some graph paper. I had set it aside somewhere, and I was looking at it, and like I said, I looked at the stitched piece so that to verify how I'd done it. So anyway, when I looked at the other ones I had done, I thought, okay, well, I guess I added a stitch there, because I knew I had done some weird thing on the when I put it in to make sure that it came out right, and I did it like off of the fourth one, and I added a fourth stitch there. I thought, oh, I guess I added an extra one there, and I did it, and then I looked at the the one I had more closely, and it's 4 sets of 4, right? 4 and 4 and 4 and 4, and I had done 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. So there was no way to fudge that, so I had to take it all out, all the way back to this very first one here, and do 4 instead of 3. And if you look at this, there's only 3 on this vertical one, when there should have been 4. And there's only 3 there because I thought it was 3 and 3 and 3, but it's 4 and 4 and 4. And also, so I had done 26 of the 3 and 3 and 3, and it was like, it was too short. It had to be 4 and 4 and 4, because 26 times 3 is not 102 stitches or whatever across. No. So I did, like I said, groups of 4. So half of my time spent working on this was spent taking all that out and redoing it. But so anyway, so now it is correct. 4 and 4 and 4. And so this is just the beginning of the ferret design. And if you look at it, it's these big sunflowers. So where I started was this little sunflower here, this big sunflower, or whatever it is, daisy. It's not really a sunflower. Excuse me. 1 second. But so I did this petal and the beginnings of this petal right here. And so that's what this this yellow blob is. That's the one petal, and then the beginnings of the other petal here. So that's all of the further I got on the ferret, which is my new start and done for World Cross Stitch Day. The other thing I want to do this coming week is on the 18th. The 18th would have been my mother's birthday. And so I think on Mother's Day, I worked on this pattern, and I put in the word mother. This is New York Dreamers. This is her name. The designer is Ezia Gladstone. Ezia. I don't know, but of New York Dreamer. So I worked on this before, and I talked about this before. How it has these they look like buttons or something on there, and there's nothing in the instructions about what they're supposed to be. But anyway, so last time I worked on it for Mother's Day, I finished this part of the branch, and I did the word mother mostly, and so I'm hoping to do more, at least finish the little branch part on the 18th. if I can finish these, there's like a lot of, there's an alphabet and words and stuff back here. You can see the, in the lighter color. And then there's these little things here. So there's, kind of a lot of ways to go. And then these little buttons are just, looks like they're just buttons that I don't know if I can get them on, with the Jabco buttons or whatever. I don't know yet. And I don't know what that is either. But, so yeah, I'm just going to make that up as I go along when I eventually get to it. But yeah, so there's that one. And this is, I have a thing here, Ecru or natural 26 count limit. I think it's probably more than 28. Yeah, but I don't even know where that came from. And then lastly, the thing I did most of the work on for this month's WIPGO, the two things were Daily Walk in the Woods, which is I don't know which number is right here. Daily Walk in the Woods is number 18, which I haven't gotten to yet. But this is number 24, is my other WIPGO number, and this is Yay, Y-E-I, Yay, by Southwest Decoratives Rugs of the Southwest series. These are based on sand paintings, Navajo sand paintings. So I started this some time ago, I don't know when. My sister got this, my younger sister got this for me when they went fishing on the Colorado River up in the northern part of Arizona, and up in there in the Navajo reservation area. And so they had these, selling these as kits. My older sister bought this same pattern not as a kit when we were in Albuquerque a few years ago. But so, like I said, my younger sister bought this as a kit when they were up there on the river. So, so I have it as a kit with all the threads, and it came with Ada, but it's actually full coverage back here in this sort of sand color behind the figures there. So, and I think I will do it. I had thought about not doing it, but I think I will. This is the middle figure that I started with, and it basically, the figure is finished. Down here, this black continues below here as part of it. It serves as both the border and part of this other figure here. This figure here bends around and bends underneath, so the black in this figure's clothing becomes the border of this design. So I started with this middle figure here, and before I had started with the red, which is the middle of the design, and middle of the pattern is the middle of this red part here. So I had done this red, and I'd done one side of the skirt, and I think I went down this side, or this side here, yeah. But I had not, I didn't realize I had not done this last set of 3 here. I had only done up to here, and so when I started working on it, I did the across this way, thinking that I was at the bottom of the skirt. I did it here, and it was like not, I was like, I have the right number of stitches, and it was like coming out off center, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I looked at it, and it was because I needed to add this vertical set of 3 first, and then go across. So anyway, after I fixed that, it went very quickly, actually. This is all DMC. and but there's there's no back stitching, no half stitches, no quarter stitches, whatever. So it once I got going, it went very quickly. So she's got this fringy thing hanging off of their arms here, and yeah. So one figure done, and I've only worked on it. I think I started on Wednesday. Because Tuesday, yeah, I was at Naomi's most of the day, and maybe I started working on it while I was there. I don't know, but anyway, so I have 6 days on this pattern, and so I think I've only done 2 days, maybe 3. Maybe today's the 3rd day. I don't know. So it'll be be a little. I have a little while a few more days to work on it before I hit the 6 days, and so I'll probably do the other figure, and maybe because I'll go across and do the borders. I might do part of the other figure. I don't know. I probably am not going to do the background yet because that's just a lot of slogging back and forth of and I thought, well, I could do the background kind of stuff like around this figure, but I don't know. So I'm just gonna worry about working on these little figurines. Because the next figure is I'll go across with the black to make the border kind of thing, and then maybe do the other figure after that. So yeah, so that's yay. And like I said, I have a few more days to work on it, so we'll see what I get done with that. And I think that's it. Oh, one more thing. Naomi bought me a couple things when they were in New Mexico. This is it's called a beer blanket. It's basically a koozie, but it's made out of this foamy, spice blanket kind of stuff, this nylon blanket stuff. And it comes with a little pouch, and you can fold it up and stick it in the pouch. But yeah, it's to put your drink in. Yeah, this. So yeah, this is the little clasp thing that closes it. But it's basically like a little koozie, a can koozie. There's just a little crisscrossy bottom part there, and you just stick it in there. But yeah, there's that. And then the other thing she brought me from New Mexico was this little cookie cutter shaped like the state of New Mexico. Yeah. So that was her little thank you present to me for watching the house. But so that's it for this week, and I think next week hopefully I'll have some more of those FFOs and the corrected finish of this. We'll see. And hopefully that finished Santa. I have to remember to sort of get to those because a part of my mind thinks, oh, they're already done, but clearly they're not. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to do a little more, and we'll see. And by next week, I should have started on the daily walk in the woods also. And for some reason, that is really bogging me down. I don't know if it's just I think I've talked about this before, how I'm sort of more like those little individual finishes are not really my cup of tea. I'm better at doing blocks of color or whatever. And so I have a tendency to do like, oh, I've got the red out, let me just do all the red, whatever. And so little things like that have the little, individual motifs or whatever, like this, that has all the little trees. And like the one I did a couple of earlier in July, the Hello Pumpkin, that has all those little individual the leaves and and the individual animals and all that. All that kind of stuff is harder for me than well like I think about that when I see samplers that have like all kinds of little individual things that are not as enjoyable for me as like something like this. There's an actual picture, and the trim is all separate, whatever. Like on this one has these individual leaves, but for the most part, you're dealing with like something like this. You're dealing with an individual. A sort of single picture kind of thing, and I don't know. It's just harder for me to do. Like this, even though it's very small, of course, it's very easy, but like it's one thing, even if it was huge, it'd be easier to do one thing. I don't know, that's the way I am, I guess. But anyway, so next time I will probably have started working on Daily Walk in the Woods. I've got my new starts done, but I have a couple of FFOs. I have like 3 things. One of them is pretty small, the Hippity Hop, and the other one is the Good Must I Be. Those are both very small, and I think they're both gonna be little pillows. Hippity Hop, maybe I'll do that as a flat finish. I don't know, but and what's the third one? I have the chart right here. Hippity Hop and Good Must I Be. Oh, Beneath the Bough, which was intended, I think, as a scissor fob, but I'll probably make it as a small pillow. So those things are fairly small. I can just add them to the pile of stuff from July. But like I said, I only have like the 6 days on the Daily Walk in the Woods, and then I can spend some more time. Maybe I'll work on finishing all those pillows, but also doing some more work on those Year in the Woods things, so that they just feel a little more that I've done, a little further down the line on them. I don't know. But so that's all I've got for this time, and hopefully next time I'll have more to show. All right, so I will see you next week, and until then, keep stitching, enjoy yourself, and keep cool. It's finally cooled down a little bit here. It's in the lower 100s as opposed to over 115 here. Some people have said they've gotten a little bit of rain, but I don't know. Actually, when I was at Naomi's house, it poured here, but I don't remember noticing it at Naomi's house. I don't know if I was asleep, if I slept through it, or if in Phoenix you have these issues of like heat bubbles, kind of, where it's so hot that it won't rain. I don't know if it's in New Mexico we used to have the phenomenon of virga at the beginning of the monsoon season, where it's so hot, the air is so dry that you could see there's a bunch of clouds, and you could see a little curtain of rain, but it would disappear before it hit the ground. You might get like 1 or 2 drops would make it through the heat and hit the ground, but they'd have to be pretty big drops of water to survive the drying effect of the air, because a lot of times the rain would just evaporate before it got to the ground. So it takes a couple of days of the virga, the evaporation of the water, before the atmosphere becomes saturated enough that the rain can actually make it all the way to the ground. So at the beginning of the monsoon season is you have that sort of phenomenon where if there's a big heat bubble in the area where you are, like if you're in the city of, in the Phoenix area or whatever, where maybe there's a lot of concrete and pavement and streets and stuff like that just reflect a lot of heat, they'll keep it from raining in your area because the rain can't make it down to the ground in that kind of situation. So it sometimes takes a while before the rain actually happens. And it always reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from Tony Hillerman, who wrote all those Jim Chi Southwestern settings novels. That one of the quotes was something like talking about the skepticism of the desert born, where you see clouds in the sky and you think, oh look, it's maybe it'll rain today, but it probably won't. And that's kind of like you learn to sort of read the clouds and think, yeah, those look like they've got some rain in them, but it's probably not gonna rain today. Because like I said, it takes a while for those clouds. I always think of the clouds like lowering before it actually gets to rain. Because as long as they're way up there, it could be lots of clouds way up there, but there's not enough oomph in them for the rain to make it all the way to the ground. So, like I said, whenever I see clouds and rain stuff, well, the other day it was raining off in the distance somewhere, but it certainly wasn't raining here, And so, yeah, I'm firmly in the camp when it comes to rain, firmly in the camp of I'll believe it when the rain is hitting me and, I'm getting wet, or when I see their actual rain clouds. But so anyway, so keep cool if you're out there among the heat. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.